What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of BTR Beyond the Ropes. My name is Fernando, aka Retro Relapse, and with me, as always, on the ones and twos, holding it down with the BFF duties, as always, is Randizzle, aka Randy. What it do, Randy, on another wonderful Top Rope Tuesday special edition
What?
because it's St. Patrick's
What?
Day. Hopefully, you're wearing your green because if not, the pinchers are coming after you. Top Rope Tuesday. What it do?
Not Pro Tuesday. Oh, you know what? Oh man, you're right. Let me just do a little switcheroo. Now I got the green on. For sure.
There you go.
And we're just one day removed from official Stone Cold Steve Austin Day 316.
Oh, hell, hell.
What? You know what? And
What?
I'm gonna push a button, right? There it is.
What?
There it is. I'm gonna push a button because this is gonna accurately represent what I did yesterday.
One beer, two beers, three beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
And yes, I was having a grand old time watching Raw live in San Antonio. Unfortunately, I did not attend. Were you in attendance or any of your family in attendance last night at Raw?
Uh, Not immediate. I'm pretty sure I had a coworker or two I haven't seen today. Probably took the day off because they had quite a fun time out there. But yeah, no, I haven't talked to anybody that's been over there, so I don't know who's gone. But apparently there was a lot of people from San Antonio and the surrounding areas that came out to see Monday Night Raw because it was over 15,000 people in the Frost Bank Center.
They said, and this is from other legends in the business, not only from Texas like Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker, but Bully Ray and the Busted Open said that was one of the hottest crowds outside of a European tour. And we've been saying that for years. Bring more wrestling to San Antonio. Bring more wrestling to
Yes.
South Texas. South Texas, people will make the drive. AEW, bring some more shows down here. I know you do some Houston, I know you do some Cedar Park, but San Antonio, I don't think they'll ever let you down because we love our wrestling down here in South Texas for sure.
That's right. But do you know why? And I think we are jumping topics today because I'm going to switch it up on you today. Do you know
What?
why WWE brought the heat for Monday Night Raw here to San Antonio?
Well, because I'm assuming you're building up. I mean, because you're building to the road to WrestleMania, and you need to hype everything up. That's
You
my thought
are, but
process.
you're still also 35-ish days away from WrestleMania. Why did they bring it hard? And the answer is because we're 2 days removed from one of the hottest pay-per-views that happened over the weekend. We'll be talking about today AEW Revolution. We're going to give you our takes and what we saw and the results if you didn't already watch a banger of a pay-per-view that AEW Tony Khan put out for us to pay for and watch, and it was a hell of a pay-per-view, let me tell you what.
So let me tell you before you get into it, this is a spoiler episode because we are going to get into AEW's Revolution. But before we do that, make sure to continue to like and follow. Hit that little bell to get notified whenever we drop new episodes on any of your favorite podcast platforms, whether you listen or watch. And of course, at the socials at Beyond the Ropes 210, we are dropping constant videos, constant clips. Give us a like, give us a follow, drop some comments on the videos, drop some comments on the little reels on Instagram, on Facebook. Start the conversation with us. We love to talk about wrestling and we want to interact with you. And make sure to tune in
Definitely.
every Thursday where we go live on Facebook at Beyond the Ropes 210 and of course Twitch until we start moving that transition to YouTube live. But we're inching our way to WrestleMania. But today isn't really focused on that show. We might talk about WWE a little bit later. But like Fern said, let's get into this AEW Revolution pay-per-view that Tony Khan so graciously gave us He literally gave us bang for your buck. Because how many hours was it? How many matches was it?
He did.
It was so many matches. So
Oh
many. So
man.
many.
I want to say at least 10. Let me see. Let me
The
pull up the
question
card.
is,
Uh, and thank
are
you always to
you
our unofficial sponsor, the
ready?
SmackDownHotel.com.
Got it.
Yeah. And we can give you this wonderful list of everything that happened.
We'll give you the skinny
And if you
that
didn't
went
already
down.
know, you damn right. And if you didn't already know, this is also leading towards the next pay per view that AEW is going to put up uh, April 5th. Since we are on that road to WrestleMania, everyone is putting out things right now. Dynasty is up next. AEW Dynasty.
2 weeks before WrestleMania. Am I correct?
Correct.
I believe yeah. I
Uh,
believe WrestleMania is on Easter. 18 and 19? Or am I wrong? Or am I thinking 14, 15? 14, 15. Or 16. 15, 16. Let me pull it up.
Easter's is April 5th,
Oh, dang.
and that is
Easter's a
when
lot earlier.
Dynasty is. Dynasty is on April 5th, and that's a Sunday, and that is also Easter's.
So
But
you might see
the
someone
18th,
resurrect. You might see
19th,
someone resurrect on AEW's Dynasty pay per view because people get there's some extreme things that happen.
yes, yes. Not including the 0 hour. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10 matches. 10 matches. And he even had one that
Yeah.
had uh a no time limit.
Oh, the
It
mock.
was, man, I think the pay-per-view was over at 11:30 in the evening. It started at 7. If you watched the 0 hour, it started at 6, and there were 3 matches on the 0 hour card as well. So yeah, it was a long one, man. Like I really wasn't expecting to stay awake all the way through it, but we did it. We did it. I was gonna go to bed before the Hangman MJF match, which was the main event, the Texas Death Match, the main event, and man,
Good thing you didn't. Good thing you didn't go
yeah,
to sleep.
I mean, it was worth it. Don't get me wrong, but man, like as soon as we started watching, saw it was starting. I was like, no, we got to stay up, and we did. And oh man, I regret it because I was tired the next day. I was tired, but let's jump into it. Let's get into what happened over the weekend. It starts off in a 0 hour. First match, Boom and Doom versus the Infantry. We had QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ versus Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo of the Infantry. For being a 0 hour match, it was a good hype match. You have Boom and Doom, you have Big Boom AJ and all his Rugrats there, all his kids, his family. These are your YouTube stars. I know we don't spend a lot of time talking about these dudes, but they did take one over, had the happy dance and everything, where the faces did go over the heels in this one, and obviously it doesn't mean anything. It's just more for whatever little mini storylines they have going on because Big Boom was out for a little bit, but he's been trying to wrestle in Ring of Honor. So if
Yeah,
you're a fan
and
of that, there you go.
Ring of Honor is giving you a little bit of social media stardom, right? With Big Boom and the little kid, the wrestler, and whatever else their kid's name is, eating cookies and shit. But hey,
Big
I
Just
Big Justice. But I want to talk about QT Marshall. QT Marshall is one of the is in some of the best shape he's ever been in his life. And kudos to him. And
hmm
hey, if this is how he gets on the fucking show, and this is how Shane Taylor Productions gets on the show, hey, fuck it, dude. It's better to be on the show than not be featured at all. So,
you still get a hit at the payday window, like they say in the old school wrestling terms. You're still gonna
hmm
get a hit at that payday window. That's right. Interesting enough, they put a title on the line during the 0 hour. The women's TBS championship was on the line. Willow Nightingale, the champ, versus Lena Cross. And this could have been a better match, but I think it was also pressed for time because of the matches following. Willow Nightingale came out on top. She did not lose her TBS championship
it this
to
was
Lena
solely
Cross.
this was solely focused to kind of build up for the coming up match later on in the evening for the women's tag team match. But they're pretty much we're gonna target Willow and get her injured, her shoulder, and they succeeded
And
in at
let
least pushing that story. Pushing that
yep.
story. That was the idea.
Megan Bain did come out after the match, and they took a whooping to Willow before Harley tried to come out and make the save. So it did build up drama for that match that's happening in the pay per view, and they did hurt Willow, which was what their intentions.
hmm
So
This is it
good,
was
good to
this was a
see.
story.
Good
This
to
was a
see.
story builder match. That's what it really was, right? We knew or we assumed there wouldn't be a title change technically on 0 Hour, right? Because the next match does have a title
But
change, but it bleeds into the pay per view.
exactly, exactly. To divert in what you're saying, yes, there actually was one that happened, and I've yet to see that happen before. And well, we got one now, and it was the AEW National Championship match, 21 man blackjack battle royal. You did see Ricochet, the champ, defending his belt versus Jungle Jack Perry. And they didn't say who was coming out, so it was nice to see just random wrestlers. And then you're like, oh wow, they're in the match. Jack Perry, El Clone, Juice Robinson, Tommaso Ciampa, Ace Austin, Roosh, Shibata, Daniel Garcia, Commander, Trent Beretta, the Beast Mortos, Dalton Castle, Anthony Bowens, Jalisco, returning Leo Rush, Scorpio Sky, Johnny TV, AR Fox, Austin Gunn, and Rocky Romero. Now, when you just by reading off some of the names on this match, you're like, man, these guys could have had like a different match of their own match going on during the pay per view. But again, it was another payday esque kind of match for them just to go out there and kind of just beat each other up, and it was awesome.
There was some awesome spots. I'm gonna name two that really stood out to me. Um, AR Fox running the ropes and doing a backflip. Well, I wouldn't even call it backflip. I don't know, like a stage dive kind of flip onto the crowd. Badass. Second one that really stood out to me. Commander from one end of the ropes runs the fucking ropes and then does a backflip with the fucking salute as he jumps over. Dude, that
Dude,
and that's not even scratching the surface of what you saw in this match. But damn it, those things stuck out to me. And unfortunately, I'll point out another little situation I saw. Commander got pushed out of the ring because Danny Garcia pulled his mask and he just tried to cover his face and got kicked off. But right before that, that fucking crazy ass flip he did, badass, badass.
and then Daniel Garcia is dancing around, or not dancing. He isn't dancing anymore, but he's gloating with the mask on, and he got thrown out while
hmm
wearing the mask. That was hilarious. Like almost instant karma right off the bat.
There was another
Tommaso
good
Ciampa had a few good uh,
eliminations.
how would you call it? Yes, thank
Eliminations.
you. A few good eliminations when he would hit him with that running knee. Son of a bitch.
You know who I hadn't seen in a minute? Was is it Ace Austin?
Hmm.
Right, dude. I hadn't seen him in a minute. I know he's in the Gun Club. I hadn't seen him in a minute, but he did this fucking like you ever seen Soul Soul Snatcher move? Right? Yeah, almost something similar to that. It wasn't a cutter or anything. He did like a backflip into a DDT. It looked
Hmm.
almost like a shooting star press reversed into a fucking
Hmm.
DDT. It looked gnarly as fuck. And he did it I believe he did it to AR Fox. And I was like,
Yep.
"Holy shit, dude." Like it was pretty intense.
Well, I can honestly say one of the reasons why you haven't seen Ace Austin recently is because you haven't been watching Collision. The Collision Cowboys are back. The Bang Bang Gang is back together, and they're healthy, and they've been on Collision for the past 2 weeks. So you have seen, if you've been watching, Ace Austin, Austin Gunn, and Juice Robinson have been on Collision.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's the Saturday Night Delight, sir.
Saturday Night
Yes.
Delight. Nice.
But I was, oh, dude, what really got me was towards the end of the Battle Royal, you had Jungle Jack Perry, El Clone, Ricochet, and I forgot who else. There was somebody else in there. The match bled over into the intro of Dynamite, and that's been I mean Dynamite, the intro of the pay per view, and that's been happening lately where you have a big match that bleeds over into the beginning of the pay per view, but that's also part of the buy in. Like, oh man, I didn't get to see who wins. Let me buy the pay per view and let me see who won that match because I was really interested, especially with all the drama that match brought with those many people I mean, a lot of those guys in the beginning of that match didn't even go in the ring. Everyone just was beating the shit out of each other outside the ring, which was awesome to see. And then they brought it in, and then they moved, and then they started everything.
It looked
But
like a tornado.
it took them a
It looked
minute.
like a tornado match. It really did. It looked like a tornado. It didn't look like a over the top battle
It
royal
was
by any means.
in the beginning. It didn't because everybody was just beating each other up outside. Then when they started bringing it in, people were being smart and say, "Well, I still want to do more outside damage." They would slide under the ropes and continue outside. And there's nothing you can really do about it except try to get the guys back in the ring to really throw them over the top. But yeah, it was awesome seeing that too. But I was elated that El Clone didn't win for one, but he was eliminated. I mean, I'm glad he was eliminated towards the very end, but man, if you actually sit down and watch this dude, like he is a really good luchador. I love his mask. I want his mask, but watching him fight, dude, like he's crazy, dude. I can't wait till they bring back the other dude, hologram, and see both of them go at it because it's gonna be good.
It what's crazy ever since they had this partnership with CMLL, they have been pulling a lot of luchadors like legit. So then they replaced the Lucha Brothers with high caliber fucking luchadors because you got um, Máscaras. Máscaras, you have Commander, you have Hologram who's out, you have El
Máscara
Clone,
Dorada.
Máscara Dorada, El Clone. You have the LOA. Even though they're not wearing masks, most of them they are luchadors, right? You got fucking
Jalisco.
Roos, Dralistico. You got El Matador? No man, I'm calling him Matador. What's his name? Beast
The
Mortos. Beast
Beast
Mortos. Beast
Mortals.
Mortos. So you got some luchadors in there. I know that a lot of times they're featured on
Hechicero over in
it's
Don Callis family. Dude, that dude is so good.
they're about to fight. He's about to fight fucking Claudio Castagnoli at the CMLL Super Show this coming Friday
Nice.
for the championship. For the
Oh,
championship, and this is going to continue
that's gonna be
this
interesting.
is going to continue the rivalry. Don Callis versus the Death Riders
Hmm.
slash the
That's
Dogs.
gonna be interesting. Yeah,
So,
oh yeah, because
mhm,
they're putting their nose in a lot of the stuff too.
mhm.
But as the end of the match pushed on, you did see Ricochet and Jack Perry end up being the last two in there, and lo and behold, Jack Perry was able to get Ricochet out, and he is your new national champion, AEW national champion. So kudos to Jungle Jack. He did jump out into the crowd and hug his mom and his sister, celebrated with the crowd, and then took off to the back as your new AEW national champion.
So that's your first belt switching hands on this pay per view so far, which is pretty cool.
Yes, it is. And then we start off the pay per view, the first match of the night, the World Tag Team Championship, FTR, with the belts, taking on the Young Bucks.
Let me give you a quick little my thought process, and you can go over the match. You you thought one and two were good. You thought one and two were good. Holy shit.
Hmm.
The rubber match, whatever you want to call it. Holy fucking shit, dude. These guys, I don't even call them the Young Bucks anymore. They're the Bucks, right? The EVPs. And you got FTR with Big Stoke. They fucking brought it. This is one,
Yes, they did.
when we talked about this a couple of, I think last week, this wasn't one of the matches, the must watch matches for me initially. But after the first 5 minutes, I was like, huh, oh my god, wait, huh, and that's what you want from a pay per view. That's what you want to be surprised because we know that they're gonna put good. AEW is known for putting great matches. So let's not beat around the bush. But holy fuck, dude, I just got the banger of this fucking Casino Royale match, and then I get the first official match of the pay per view is FTR versus the Bucks. Holy shit, and it didn't disappoint. And I'm gonna let you get into it because there's a
No,
lot
it
to
did
talk
not.
about. There's a lot to talk about on this one.
Well, I mean, keep going, man. Keep going because just the way that they came out, the Young Bucks had a vendetta, not only because they're trying to become the four-time AEW World Tag Team Champions, but FTR brought in uh not brought in, they they were ugly to the Young Bucks family. I think it was on Collision
They
was
made
when
it
they beat up
personal.
on their dad.
They made it
They
personal.
did make it personal. They did make it personal, and the Bucks had a vendetta to take out FTR for what they did. But they did come out with their kids, which was awesome. They had Matt had his son, Nick had his kids, and they also had their brother's kids as well because they also beat up on the brother too. I think at one point.
2 weeks ago, three
And
weeks
so
ago, they beat up the brother
there
too.
you
So
go. Yep. So yeah, they brought out the kids in their entrance. They even had the money come out, and they were passing out money to the crowd. They were all in the ring, so it was a nice family moment. And of course, you got the heels, super heels, FTR come out and just bringing their snarly looks, and then even taunting the family and stuff when they were getting into the ring. I mean, just seeing that was crazy. But just the texture of the match, man, the thick of it, the way they beat up on each other. They know these two teams know each other so well where they even mimic and do their moves, each other's moves. This match could go on forever. Everyone always clamors, fight forever. That's AEW's thing, fight forever, and they will.
yeah, it was a good. It almost felt like a no time limit match. It fucking went on, and obviously there has to be a winner. And after a hard fought battle, FTR just pulled it out. They just, they
They
just,
did.
and I'll even say it was inched by. It was like like by the hair, as fine as a frog's hair, right? So close, but they won. But what set up the next thing to happen, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
fucking had the rated R superstar Adam Copeland come out, and he's like, yeah, 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 and he has a new shirt that says Cope Cage, and it has Cage crossed out in the bottom, it has Cage spray painted on top above Cope, and you're like, okay, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 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 and FTR's like, come on, motherfucker, and then lo and behold, this is the best part, and you had to catch it real quick because it happened real quick. Christian Cage walks in, fucking pokes Stokely in the eyes, and then pokes Cash Wheeler in the eyes, and then fucking does the unprettier or the unfamouser on the fucking on Dax. It was awesome.
Well, it didn't happen fast. What it was they did what FTR or any heel group would do. Cope comes out first. You think you know him? Well, first on the screen it said even, and then even G, and you're like, what? And then there's the R and it says revenge, and then you think you know him, down, 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 down. And then there's Cope out in the beginning there with the space. He does the fireworks, crowds into it on this day. They're getting all into it, and you're like, okay, cool. I was like, okay, you see the shirt. Okay, where's Christian Cage at? And then here comes Christian Cage's music. Got the countdown, and instead of saying father at number one, it says asshole in big old letters. It was awesome, and you're waiting there for a minute. You're like, okay, where's he at? Well, he does what heel Christian Cage does, and I was already coming from the backside of the ring, and he did exactly what you said. He hit Stokely, and then he went after he sprayed down Dax, and he got I'm sorry, he sprayed down Cash, and he hit Dax with that fucking unprettier. Hell yeah.
And I like this setup because it does set it up for something unique. You know, you have FTR as the heels. You know, you have,
FTR scatters out of the ring, and you've got Cage and Copeland there with the belts in the middle, and they hold up those belts looking at them because they want to hurt FTR for fucking them up. Of course, they want Copeland wants revenge for hurting Beth Phoenix.
yeah.
And of course you're thinking right away, hey, okay, they're gonna set up because well now they want gold. They're back for gold. They're back from their fucking Christmas vacation, their winter vacation. They want gold. But give it to them.
So, well, and then the Bucks come in. And the Bucks are looking at them, and the Bucks are faces now, right? And I want to touch on this the little thing you just said just a second ago when Adam and Cage made their entrance. You got the heels in FTR. You got the Bucks who meet Copeland and Cage in the ring, and they're the faces now. And then you have Adam Copeland, who's a face, and you have Christian Cage, who is a heel, an asshole. This is a unique situation because now you have a heel team, a face team, and a tweener team.
And the
The
legends.
legend, but the legends are tweeners, and that's the best part. They're tweeners, so this could be a great matchup for the next pay per view, which makes a lot of sense. Dynasty, because you got fucking bona fide legends, wrestling legends, not WWE legends, wrestling legends, because Christian made his name also outside in TNA. So I like where this could be heading, and I'm gonna interject before we start
Do you
continuing.
see where it's heading?
I feel like it is, but I want to interject real quick before we get into the rest of this pay-per-view. I like specifically about AEW's Revolution pay-per-view, and as we talk about the matches, you'll see what I'm talking about. They have built so many fucking stories. So many stories in one pay-per-view. I've never seen so many stories built. And we talked about we've both talked about AEW have been lacking on something. Never the wrestling part. Never can ever count them out on wrestling. But the lack of story, the lack of kind of progressing the title picture, progressing this feud, whatever the case may be. And this one pay per view, as we continue to talk about it, this one pay per view just fucking set up 20 storylines in one fucking paper. In one night, they created 20 storylines, and this is one of the bigger ones because now you bring out the
Mm-hmm.
legends in Christian Cage and Adam Copeland to come out, and you just had a banger of a match between the Young Bucks and fucking FTR. Like this is gonna revive the tag team division. This is gonna revive it right here. This pay per view, this little mixture of these 6 men is gonna revive the fucking tag team division, and I'm here for it. I'm pumped.
If you can read between the lines, and I'm hoping I'm correct with what I'm trying to see and read, we may get TLC 3
That's what it
with
looks
these
like it's
new
leaning.
teams
That's what it looks like it's leaning
because
towards.
it would be beautiful to reincarnate what happened because you've got two young teams, youngish teams that can go and are willing to throw their bodies on the line, and it would only be proper for Edge and Christian to want to have that angst and goal to do it one more time, especially knowing that the next pay per view that they're having for AEW is where
Where is
Dynasty is being held in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
it? Whoo,
So
so
this is not their farewell because they're from Toronto, but this is a Canadian pay per view. And if you want to pull some ratings and some hearsay and talk away from WWE, is to throw a banger of a three-way TLC with the originals winning the belts.
and I like where your head's at because in theory, FTR are the Dudleys, hard hitting, slobber knocker kind of fucking people, and then you got the Young Bucks who are exactly a clone of the fucking Hardy Boys.
Exactly.
And then you have the fucking glue that holds it all together, the originators, Edge and Christian, aka Adam
Mhm.
Copeland and Christian Cage. Like, dude, like this could be very well something that again, like I said, this is gonna revive the fucking tag team division because no matter who wins, it can carry on the story.
Mhm.
This is match number
I would
one. This is match number one
yes,
on the card.
yes, I would love to see Edge and Christian take it and then they can fucking retire with it or lose it. Cuz I mean, if you think about it, Sting retired as as a tag team champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did what no one else has ever done. Will they let Christian and Cage retire as champions? Who knows? I would love to say yes. Everyone else would love to say no. So
And
I want to see it.
and I'll put my 2 cents in here. I think this is Adam Copeland's last run. I think Christian
It
Cage.
is.
I think Christian Cage because of the way he wrestles, still very methodical and not so many bumps that his career can continue. So he's still keeping
Mhm.
his heel persona because that's the best persona he's had. And with AEW allowing him to say the shit that he says that you wouldn't allow to get away with anywhere else, he can continue
Mm-mm.
this persona whether he's a manager like he was with Jurassic Express or if he's a singles competitor and he fucking manipulates that fucking Luchasaurus and what was that kid's name who has been hurt for a while now? Uh, he's like 19-year-old kid. Fuck, I forgot his last the patriarch. Who was in the patriarch?
Oh yeah, Nick Wayne.
Nick
Nick
Wayne.
Wayne's already he's healed and he's fighting in Ring of Honor right now.
But what I'm saying is like you can see Christian Cage taking that role or just being a singles competitor, which is nice.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
I
and
agree.
this is match number one, guys. We got 9 more official matches on this fucking AEW pay-per-view
I
Revolution
don't think
card.
I'm gonna make it, dude. Fuck, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Number two, if we're moving on, match number two, Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir, and then everyone is banned from ringside match.
I
They were
love.
a hard. It was just this was a hard hitting match for both of these ladies, man. They took it to the limit to each other, without getting like crazy with weapons and things like that. It was a good wrestling match.
I'm glad for Marina Shafir because she needed someone who could take it there, and we've seen Tony Storm in the past versus Mariah May and how far she will take it to be extreme in the fucking Texas Death match, the fucking hardcore match, whatever you want to call it. All those matches she's had with whether she was tagging with Mina Shirakawa or she was fighting solo. You know she's willing to take it to that next level, and Marina needed it. She's part of the fucking Death Riders, people who
Yep.
don't take mercy to anyone, and she has interjected herself in other matches, which led to this match between her and Tony Storm, and it was awesome. It was a great fucking match. It showcased. I think the you know what do they say? What's the term? One person gets over, the other person gets. One person goes over, one person gets over. Well, Tony Storm won,
Hmm.
so she got over, but Marina Shafir got over because they showcased her abilities, which was fucking nice. And Tony Storm took it. Tony Storm took it, but it wasn't an easy fucking fight. It was a legit fight. They took each other to the
Hmm.
level, and it was nice to see. And then you have this surprise kind of run in. I'm not too fond of because I don't care for this person and the way they fucking treat wrestling, whether it was WWE or any wrestling in general, because she thinks she's hot shit. I'll let you get into it because I don't want to talk about her.
Are you talking about what happened when the match was over?
I am talking about that.
Because Tony Storm did beat Marina Shafir at her own game. Got the 1, 2, 3. Tony leaves and says, "You know what? I am going to the back." And she decided to do her little swan dance on the floor over by the thing. And then we hear the crowd clamoring because someone entered the ring. And who enters the ring, takes off her jacket, is no one else other than Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is in AEW. This isn't her first time. She's also competed in Ring of Honor as of late, and she is getting ready to prepare for a MMA fight versus Gina Carano that's happening in May. I was going
May
to say
16th.
June. It's
May
happening.
16th.
It's happening in May. Uh, but she calls out Tony Storm. And she points to her and says, "Hey, get over here." And Tony sits up from what she's doing, and she's got this wicked smile on her face, like, "Oh, who is this bitch calling me out?" And she goes and she storms to the ring, and she gets face to face. And before they can have any more words than "Who the fuck do you think you are?" that all the security come, all the refs come out, and they separate them. Ronda Rousey's back against the ropes. Tony Storm gets up and sits on the top corner, and then out of nowhere, Marina Shapiro was on the ground because the match was over. She gets back up on the ropes and she decks Tony Storm in the back of the head, and she falls down into the crowd of security guards. And then she goes into the ring and she hugs Ronda Rousey, and then they both leave together because they are part of the four horsewomen of MMA. People forget about that. They had that little faction, that little clique, including Jessica Duke, and I forgot who the other lady was. Shayna Baszler. So that's kind of setting up for something that they want to push and do, where the sheets were going crazy that night, where people were like, "Oh, Ronda Rousey's joining the Death Riders." We don't know nothing yet. All we knew is she made an appearance, and she's calling out Tony Storm. So
And
it's going to be
that's
interesting
why
to see Tony Storm's rebuttal, if there's going to be something said on Dynamite or Collision, depending on when they do it, to cut a promo for it, and if this is going to help buy in for Dynasty.
the I believe the security broke it up. Technically, Ronda Rousey's not a talent signed to AEW, so they can't let some random, we'll call Ronda Rousey a random right now because she's not signed, fight or hit Tony Storm and become a whole thing. It'd be a whole
Of
thing.
course,
So,
that makes sense.
and it makes sense to fucking continue the fucking reputation of Marina Shafir by clocking Tony Storm. and you continue
Hmm.
that, and now you say maybe there's a tag team match because Amina Shirakawa came out and to check on Tony Storm. That might be a two on
Hmm.
two, right? It might be a two on
Yeah,
two.
you already know that Tony Storm is, with Mina, and they'll do tag team things together. So it's just when are you gonna make it happen, Tony? When are you gonna put that match together? Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna put some kind of thing together for a Dynamite or Collision leading up to get you some ratings, or are you just gonna wait for the pay per view and then do it from there? Because realistically, we're what less than 4 weeks away.
Let me ask you
We
this:
have it on the 5th. We've
are
got
are you excited to
one,
see that?
two, three Dynamite and three collisions before we get to that. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see more of this because I believe they screwed up when they had the chance to do something similar in WWE when all those girls were over there. And it would have been nice to see the four horsewomen versus the four MMA horsewomen, even if they weren't already ready to wrestle each other. It would have been just give us something, because there's some drama behind that. You've got a faction of women that think they're the shit, the MMA ones, and then you got a faction of women that
Know their shit.
they're like sisters. They have a sisterhood of wrestling that want to, show what they have against these other girls. So maybe we try to resurrect that through AEW.
Let me ask you a question real
Let's beep on to the next match. And the next match is the AEW Continental Championship with no time limit. John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita.
quick. This was one of the matches that I said last week that I was looking forward to because I am a big fan of Takeshita. I am slowly becoming a fan. I like John Moxley. I liked him when he was Dean Ambrose even also, but I kind of got fickle with him when he was holding the AEW title hostage. I got what he did. It made it a bigger fucking draw when Hangman finally beat him at All in Dallas. But I was looking forward to this match because I know Moxley will take it as far as he needs to take it to prove a point and to win a match. And I know Takeshita is young enough that he will also take it far enough to get over. And this match did not disappoint with no time limit, no interference, nothing. This is a straight up fuck you match. Eye for an eye. This wasn't a Don Callis versus Death Riders. This was a fucking man versus a man fighting for a fucking championship. And it was very evident because at the end of the match, they shook hands. They shook hands at the end of the match because it was legit brawl, and I felt like I got exactly what I wanted out of this match. It was hard hitting. You never knew there wasn't too many falsies, as far meaning there was not enough like there was not a lot of false countouts or pins, but it worked. It made sense. It worked, and they fucking put on a fucking show. And it was evident at the end of the day when you saw both their fucking faces and bodies just bruised and battered and bleeding. Like it was pretty intense. And to me personally to stand out in this type of pay per view that has a bunch of bangers, it's very hard to do. And they did a great job. And they're really kind of elevating this title. They're making it mean something, which I enjoy because the match with Ricochet and the national championship, they're elevating that title. The FTR and the tag team, they're elevating that title. I can't say the same thing about Willow and the TBS championship so far, but they're elevating these titles and they're trying to make it mean something, which is fucking very nice. So how do you feel about this match? Because this is one of my favorites, to be honest with you.
It's funny you mentioned the word elevating or what happens after the match is over. But this was a good match. This was a great match. And to see the way that these guys just really took each other to the limit for this championship really shows that they really want to hold gold that bad. And it was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Um, but for me, seeing what happened afterwards, we got the return of Mister Will Osprey after this was over, and
Osprey,
he was
Osprey.
going straight after Moxley and the Death Riders when they came to jump him when he was in the ring trying to jump Moxley for them hurting him before he got injured and had to go through his neck surgery, his spinal surgery. So it's only fitting that he may be the next one to go after the Continental Belt and may possibly even win it.
This is a good build up to continue to keep Mox and the Death Riders as true heels, right? Because with Mox holding this championship, it's kind of hard to tell if he's a heel or a face because he's thanking the crowd, he's thanking the wrestlers on putting their body on the line. He's shaking people's hands. He doesn't do that often, right? Because the whole point of BCC, now Death Riders, was all about you fucking show up, you fight like a fucking man, you take your licks, and you fucking shake the hand and say, hey, thanks for the fucking ass whooping. That's the whole point of Death Riders. That was the whole point of fucking BCC. And lately, ever since he won the belt and he went through that gauntlet to get the opportunity to win that belt a couple of months ago, he was kind of the tweener. We knew what they did with
Hmm.
Osprey because he was hurt, and they had to kind of sell the story that they injured him and he needed neck fusion surgery, all that good stuff, and that's it's shitty, you know, because Osprey missed a good chunk of 2025 and the first half of
Yep.
2026. But it gives Will Osprey an awesome return, a reason to come out and beat up somebody, right? The heel who maybe is a tweener right now, but it makes Moxley a heel again and the Death Riders because they're attacking him still. But it doesn't put the pressure of him going directly to a fucking main event spot because he hasn't technically earned his way up, right? There's a lot of people in line for MJF's championship. So it's a
Hmm.
good tweener, and he might, like you said, he might be at Dynasty the next person to take off that fucking belt off of Moxley, and I think it's going to be a damn good match.
Or they pull a WWE incident where they build up this rivalry. I can never say that word right. Rivalry all the way to All In London, since he is London's golden boy.
But would you would you want and think about this? Would you want to build that story that far for just that belt, or would you like him to have his pit stops to get to MJF if MJF is still holding the World Heavyweight Championship? That's the tough part because it isn't all London. It isn't London, so you might want to have Osprey versus whoever's holding that heavyweight championship belt. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm,
I wouldn't push
no,
the Death Riders situation all the way to the end because you still got all the way to June or July.
you have time. You have time for him to fight everybody and fight them in tag teams. So think about it this way: you separate it out. You got to go to the stages before he gets to Mox as the final boss, right? First he fights Pac, then he fights Danny, then he fights Yuta, then he fights Claudio. At some point, there's a mix where it's him and somebody else. Like I don't know. Let's just throw a name out there. Kenny Omega. That go and
Well,
fight
you still have the dogs.
Claudio and
So you have Gabe Kidd,
what are what are the dogs have anything to do with it? The dogs are fighting
but
or
here's
Orange and
here's the
Darby.
thing. They specifically said they're associated with Death Riders because Gabe Kidd has been helping Mox for a long time and the Death Riders before they got David Finley and the other guy to join from New
Connors,
Japan.
Clark
So
Connors.
Clark Connor. So technically, and one of the promos right before the pay per view, he said, "Fuck everyone from AEW, fuck everyone from New Japan except the fucking Death Riders." That's the first thing they fucking said. Fuck everyone else except for the Death Riders. So that is that little unison. That is NWO Black and White,
That's cool. Yeah,
NWO
that's cool if you
Wolfpack.
try to do like a big super faction or whatever the case, like you're saying. But I don't see them doing anything with them right away, as far as because now they have their little clique. So I don't think they're going to be following along the Death Riders a lot unless like there's a big opportunity for like a 5-on-5 kind of situation.
But that's the beauty of it because Will Ospreay also has beef with the dogs from New Japan.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's how they.
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
was
but I
intertwine those things,
I would I would I would pencil that shit away just because let the dogs go fight other people because I hate fucking Gabe Kidd. He's fucking annoying as shit. Clark Counters and David Finley don't do shit for me. They're just trying to find TV time to get on and push their little faction because of the last of the Bullet Club. Nobody cares. They were Bullet Club should have dissolved before they had that fucking Bullet Club, whatever they did. That should have dissolved way after that. In my opinion, that should have dissolved way before that little faction happened. So let them keep fighting off whoever they're fighting with the faces or whoever else, and leave the Death Riders alone unless they really need them to throw them for a big thing. But what I'm saying is Osprey's going to have to go through everybody before he gets Moxley again, and there has plenty of time to lead up to All In. if you're gonna fucking do that, so that way both of them have a good match because that's a card in itself. Moxie versus Osprey. It's two different styles, completely different styles. And plus, I do want to see Osprey hold a world championship, but MJF still has other better competitors right now. Like Dynasty, I think my personal opinion, I think it's going to be MJF and um, Andrade because Andrade beat Bandito because it was looking like who's next in line for the number one contendership, and it's going to be Andrade is going to end up fighting probably Brody King and probably kick his ass too.
We'll get into it. You'll get into it. But yeah,
Hmm.
well,
So
Osprey's
that's what
back.
I'm saying.
Osprey's
That's
back,
what I'm
right?
saying. Osprey shouldn't go after the main championship right now.
No, no,
He
no,
can hold
not,
on to it
not right
international
now.
and continental because you also have to think about it. He's still fresh from surgery, not fresh, but he's healed. But you don't want to rocket strap him all the way to the top, and then it all happens all over again. Give him something else that he could use like a workhorse championship, or could pull back a few matches here and there if not needed to defend, and keep him healthy. I think that's the game for that. World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, they're throwing themselves in Texas death matches and all kinds of crazy shit. You don't want to do it to Osprey right now. Osprey just came back. Give him time. Let him build. He's still young. Make it solid. You just like a new house, right? You want that foundation to stick before you add 10,000 pounds of fucking shit in it, right? So he just got that foundation refixed. Give him time. Give him time to mend.
We'll see. Money matches sell, right? Obviously. So, and I'm not saying Will Ospreay versus Mox isn't a money match, but Will Ospreay in England for a World Heavyweight Championship sells a lot more. That's all. But we'll see, right? We got plenty of time.
It does, but MJF holding the belt, fighting anybody sells right
That's
now.
true. That's true. That's true. And we'll get into it here in a little bit. So next match.
Mhm. AEW World Tag Team Championships Women's. The Babes of Wrath, the Chance, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron versus the newly named Divine Dominion, Megan Bain and Lena Cross.
I don't want to spend too much time for this. We already talked about this. I am super pumped. Not for Harley Cameron. I
No,
you
no, no,
know.
no, no. It's not that you don't want to spend time on this. Is that we talked about this beforehand because we were pumped about what had happened, and what had happened is that we got new women's tag team champions, baby.
And I'm pumped for that. I'm not pumped, and I'll reiterate what we talked about off air. I'm not pumped that Penelope Ford wasn't part of that tag team with Megan Bain. Right? She got hurt, unfortunately, again because of fucking Willow and fucking Harley not catching her and not taking the bump when they should have when she did the backflip. But it's nice to see that they finally took off a belt off of Willow, and unfortunately, Harley Cameron says fucking collateral damage, but she's still too green, so it's okay. She's very entertaining, but we need some solid wrestlers, and Megan Bain. I don't know the other women too much, but Megan Bain's a solid fucking wrestler. She's a big bitch who can fucking go, and she fights like a fucking and she fights
Lena
men in GC. She fights men in fucking GCW. Like fuck it, let her go, let it go.
Lena Cross is a former champion in her respective indie promotion back in Australia. So
So she's an Austrian.
it was a good she's Australian, and it was a good pickup by AEW to bring her in the fold because when you have two twin towers of power, you cannot go wrong with putting belts on them, knowing that they're going to be a formidable force, a divine dominion of showcasing those belts and showcasing their strength and power, and it's going to be an uphill battle for anybody to face these heels and try to win those championship belts. Now, I do say I feel bad for Harley Cameron, but I think those women did do what they needed to do, which is be good spokespeople for the championship since they were the first ones to have it. They clawed and fought their way through. They did all the media press they needed to do with them. They've won a few matches with them, but it was time that they needed to push them over. And it's unfortunate Penelope isn't ready, that she wasn't cleared, that she wasn't able to be the second to hold those belts, but they are in good hands. I can't wait for her to come back. And hopefully, since she's part of this divine dominion, this little faction here, that maybe she will be the one to dethrone Willow and win that TBS championship.
Fun fact: Lena Cross
Only
was
time will tell.
yeah. Fun fact: Lena Cross was Matt Cardona's heater in Australia. And if you don't know the term
Yeah.
heater, she is the person who runs interference or causes a distraction, all that fun stuff. And if you knew Matt Cardona as far as the Indie God or the Deathmatch King, his whole shtick was sleight of hand, pretty much a magician, right? You fucking over here, I'm gonna fucking attack you over here with someone else. So she was already primed to be a big thing at some point because that's why he teamed with her to kind of build her up, and she got to Ring of Honor, and then they signed her to AEW. So kudos to her, and congrats on the new fucking champions, Divine Intervention, the fucking Slayer album.
Dominion.
Divine Dominion, the fucking Slayer album, you know. So we have new women's tag
Hell,
team
where Shawn
champions,
Michaels lives, the Dominions.
the Dominions, and fucking Michael Cole.
Yes.
So congrats to the new champions, but I digress and let's move on to the next match.
This was just a match. Swerve Strickland versus Brody
Damn!
King. But it was a match to see who's the baddest motherfucker of all time. And that winner was Swerve Strickland.
They're building him up.
Brody King did have a good show out. He did show his strengths, but Swerve is just that much wilier and smarter.
I think, and like you said, Brody King had a great showing, and the crowd was behind him. I think this is a push for a singles belt for Brody King. National championship, continental, international, TNT. I think he's in line. He had been your go-to guy for a good while. Like, hey, you need somebody to fill in? Brody King. Hey, you need someone to fucking take a bump? Brody King. You need someone to fucking give someone a bump? Brody King. You need someone to fucking be in a tag team? Brody King. You need someone to fucking fight one of your top guys because there was a snowstorm? Brody King. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brody King reap the benefits of all his fucking hard work and busting his ass. I feel like even though he might have lost to Swerve Strickland, because Swerve Strickland, like you said, is a wily motherfucker, and he also has help from Nana, is gonna fucking do great things, dude. He's gonna do great things because right now Swerve is his hyper focused on the championship. He had to fucking step back because Hangman has a opportunity this pay per view, and there was a line Omega, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of things, and Swerve Strickland took out Omega prior just to make sure that he would get in line. Brody King also got in his way and got choked out, and then following week got out of it. They had a fucking squash match essentially, where someone had to come be the baddest motherfucker, and Swerve pulled it off. But Brody
Yep.
King got over. This is again back to the saying: someone gets over, someone got over. Swerve Strickland gets over because he wins the match, but Brody King got over because the fucking fans are behind him, and this is the next push he needs. And after Swerve wins, well, guess who? And he's about to continue to beat up Brody King with a fucking cinder block. Well, Omega makes his fucking return. I thought he was at this fucking con in Japan or whatever for Street Fighter, but I guess that happened early enough where he was able to get back to LA. And here you go. He fucking makes his return, and we already know the next match for Dynasty. This is the next build up. Maybe, depending on how this MJF story goes, as he continues to defend his championship, maybe this is Swerve versus fucking Hangman, my Swerve versus Omega at All In, which would also be a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to play long-term storytelling, this is might be one of
All
those.
in or Dynasty?
Well, I know they might have a interaction in Dynasty, but you're trying to build up this All In because it's in the middle of summer, so that it might push it towards that next thing. They might meet, they might
Well,
fight. Who knows?
remember both of them are vying for a title shot. So I don't see them fighting at All In. That's way too fucking late. If anything, you're gonna see one of them fighting for the title at All In.
Well, it's hard to see anyone lose because they put a lot of stock into Swerve Strickland and the fucking character he's built and how much he's been winning. But you also have Omega, who is automatically a superstar, obviously from everything he's done before in New Japan and in the beginning of AEW. So he can go. So it's hard to say one of them's going to have to lose. I get AEW will make someone lose, but it could be a situation where maybe they have a better story with MJF and someone else. Like you said, there's a lot of people vying for this World Heavyweight Championship. And if MJF continues
Hmm.
to hold it, he is a fucking draw all in himself. He can fucking draw the house by himself, no matter who he fights, because you're gonna get him fucking talking shit on the sticks, and you're gonna fucking see him shut people up with his fucking wrestling ability and how far he will take it. So
Hmm.
I'm just curious what Omega makes his return at fucking Swerve's expense, and Swerve fucking powders out, and we're gonna see what happens next. I think tomorrow and on Dynamite we're gonna fucking see some continuations, hopefully of a lot of stories, and then obviously in Collision they'll continue those storyline continuations, I should say. So next match.
AEW Women's World Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. Chris Statlander versus the champ Tekla.
this this is no knock. This is no knock to the fucking championship match. This was my fucking restroom snack break. Not because I didn't
That's
think that I rewatched the match. I was not gonna dismiss it completely, but it was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Tekla's hot right now. There's no reason to take the belt off of her. That's all.
correct. And it was a good push, and I liked what they did by knocking out the ref and using the belt and whipping the shit out of each other. They need to do a whipping match next because they're both women were fucking bruised and bloody from being whipping each other with that damn belt.
Might be a strap match. Might be a fucking collar match. Dog collar match.
Dog collar match. They've already had a strap match,
There you go. So
so yep. But Tekla did come out on top. She retains the title. She tried to have a little help from the Sisters of Sin, but they were no use when Statlander was whipping everybody. But that's okay.
the
Tekla still
sis,
came out on
what
top.
do they call them? The sisters of baddies or the baddie sisters?
Uh, the Thotties of Sin,
The thotties,
or
listen,
the
there you go. Whatever, right?
yeah. So
Fuck you, Kyle Fletcher.
next match,
You know, you
and
know.
this was my snack break match, the AEW World Trios Championship match. Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Davis, and not Kyle Davis. Why I need to message them and
Mark
change
Davis.
that.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. They have Kyle Davis and some dude there with the bald dude with the shitty grin on there. Kyle Fletcher versus Mystical, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight.
Hey, you had one of your longest reigning CMLL champions in Mystical making his AEW, not debut, but title debut versus the Don Callis family. Good match. I know you said this is your break. Good match. I mean, Speedball and fucking Kevin Knight, right? Wore the Mystical mask in I guess in solidarity with Mystical. Had a great match, and it really was a fucking who who done it kind of match. Like, oh, there's a fall. Oh, there's a fall. Oh, there's a fall. It was exactly what you think you're gonna get out of them. High flying, hard hitting. Who's gonna win this match? And lo and behold, well, you got your new trio championship. Mystico is your fucking is now all elite. So now
Hmm.
he is a trios champion not only in AEW, newly crowned trios champion in AEW, but he's also a trios champion in CMLL. So he's a double. He's a 12-man tag team championship man. So
Hmm.
kudos to him. It was a good match. I did you ever watch this back by chance, or you just kind of dismissed it?
I watched some of it.
Good match. It had it. You got what you got, right? You knew what these guys
Mhm.
do. They're not. This is gonna sound wrong. They're not main event players, but they fucking play a big part in the mid card. And
Yeah,
it was a great
they
match
do
for what it was, right? Kyle Fletcher,
because I can honestly tell you the next 3 matches could have all been on Collision.
yeah, and I think this went exactly the way it needed to because Kyle Fletcher's your TNT champion and Okada is your fucking international champion. The only person who got kind of fucked here is fucking the other guy, the other Aussie Open guy. What's his name?
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis. Mark Davis is the only one who got fucked here. He lost the
Well,
belt.
that was Kyle Fletcher's former partner and
Yeah,
a
Aussie
partner
Open.
again.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
good match for what it was.
United Empire, sir.
United Emperor. No, they're Aussie Open. They're Aussie Open.
Yeah, but they were all part of United Empire. It was
Whatever.
him, it was Kyle, it was Mark, and it was um Buck. Who just came back?
Osprey
Yes,
and
all
Cobb,
three of those were in the same
who
faction.
is your new JC Mateo in WWE.
Hmm.
But again,
Yep.
good match. Hard hitting, high flying. Good filler. Good filler match.
Okay.
Good for the money.
Next filler match was Andrade El Idolo versus Bandido.
Fucking great match. I like this match. I
Mhm.
like this match for a number of reasons. One, it showcases Bandito because he just got put over by MJF. MJF said, "This is your next fucking world heavyweight champion," and because that's the case, I'm gonna have to whip your ass. So you got
Yep.
that. Andrade has made his third debut in AEW, part of one of the biggest fucking factions in wrestling history in Don Callis family, and he is showing out. Like they're really giving him this push where he's a ladies' man. He fucking takes off his wrestling pants and so he's so into his trunks, and he's fucking hard hitting. And they fucking showcase their strengths, their luchador fucking high flying ability, and their ability to work with each other and make it look so clean and seamless. It's fucking ridiculous.
Hmm.
I understand why you say this could have been a fucking dynamite match or a collision match, but I think it added value because you just said it just a couple of minutes ago that it looks like Andrade might be the next in line to fight MJF. So
Hmm.
it's a perfect way to put him over because yes, Andrade got over on fucking Bandito, but Bandito put a hell of a fucking fight on, dude. Like it was a damn good match. It was almost like the trios championship. Who's gonna win this match? Oh, oh, oh! I don't know. It's false finishes everywhere. But when it counted, they fucking hit heavy moves in it, and Andrade came out on top. Don Callis for the fucking win, essentially.
That's AEW shtick, though. If you don't have a bunch of uh, fast-paced false finishes, then what's the use?
True. Hey, stick with
What's the
what you know,
use?
right? Stick with what you know.
Yep, and they do, and that's why they get the ratings that they get, and that's why they were able to sell as many tickets as they did there in the
Kia
the
form,
dome. Yeah, the key. It wasn't the Kia dome, Kia form. It was something else
the
there in Los Angeles.
crypto.com arena.
There you go. Yes, the Crypto.com arena. But kudos for them for selling out as many tickets as they did.
Oh yeah.
Next match on the card, Tornadoes trio match: Darby Allen, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong versus the Dogs: David Finley, Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors.
Is it me or did Clark Connors look like a fucking young Hangman?
He's kind of got the look.
He looks like Hangman. Um, I got a couple things to say about this match because I know you don't care about Gabe Kidd or the Dogs really. One of the hardest hitting fucking matches of the night. It really fucking beat the fuck out. It almost seemed like, let me perfect example of the past. It almost felt like when Shawn Michaels fought Bret Hart and they truly didn't like each other to begin with. And they know you have to do the business and you have
Hmm.
to do the work. But they were fucking being the wrestling term is being snug, right? Meaning you're keeping it real tight and really hard to sell it. But they were fucking laying in these fucking hits. Holy fucking shit. And you got exactly what you got from the guys. MVP of the fucking match, Roderick Strong. Thank God for them
Hmm.
showcasing Roderick Strong. Like, he's been in this weird limbo. He was in Paragon. Then he was with Kyle Fletcher, and Kyle Fletcher got hurt. And he was with the fucking conglomeration. Then we'll say he got hurt because he had to disappear for a little bit to fucking kind of figure it out. He comes back to make the save last week for Darby and fucking Orange. And Dude, he was the fucking MVP of this fucking match. He beat the fuck out of the dogs. And don't get me wrong, the dogs beat the fuck out of Darby and Orange Cassidy. They beat the dog shit. Pun intended. They beat the dog shit out of each other. And I liked that Darby Allin was getting choked out with a fucking rope around his neck. The moment he gets freed, he just says, "Hey, fuck y'all guys!" Boom, fucking coffin death drop out to the outside onto all three guys. Like, dude, it was a fucking great heavy hitting match. And as much as you might not care for the dogs or Gabe Kidd specifically, Clark Connors and David Finlay, it was a fucking damn dude. I've seen them fight. I saw Gabe Kidd versus Omega in New Japan, and I've seen David Finlay versus Will Ospreay in New Japan. Just from recommendations from our former fucking producer Cody, and hard hitting matches, dude. And seeing this match in person, they found the right three fucking guys from AEW to fight these guys from New Japan, technically now in AEW signees. It was.
Hmm.
I was worried. I thought this was a real fucking fight. To be honest with you, I was like, holy shit, they're. I don't think this is fucking. This is part of the fucking script. I think they're beating the fuck out. I think they're beating the fuck out of each other for real. Like, I don't know. It was that good, and it is what it is. Like, they're new fucking signees, the dogs, and you fucking have the pillars in Darby and Cassidy, and of course you have the MVP of the match. Personally, I think is Rowdy, and Rowdy's fucking just beating the fuck out of everyone. Like, I. I don't know if you see the match like in the first minute when you see Clark Connors and fucking specifically Clark Connors and David Finlay really, really hitting Darby and fucking Orange, and Gabe Kidd kind of like getting his cheap shots in. Did a fucking you can see it, and I don't know. I wish I had the timer on with the fucking match. You can see Rowdy's fucking little switch flip and say, "These motherfuckers are laying it in. They're being an extra snug."
Hmm.
And in turn, he turned around almost like he got pissed, like they were hurting his own brothers or his own family, and he fucking kneed the fuck out of Clark Connor in the fucking jaw. I swear to God, Clark Connor got knocked out for a hot second. And then Gabe Kidd essentially came to check up on him, and fucking Rowdy just fucking gave him a fucking vertebraker. And then fucking David Finlay came in to check in on fucking Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors, and then fucking Rowdy just fucking kneed the fuck out of him and gave him the end of heartache fucking finisher. And I was like,
Yep.
I don't think they like each other. I don't think they like each other. Good overall, interesting match, interesting fucking way to debut the dogs. I liked it though. I liked that there's this was the aggressive match on this card, and you had a fucking death match, and this is one of the most
Yeah.
aggressive matches. This is one of the most aggressive fucking matches you had. Just for fuck's sake, there was no belt in the line. It was just pride. I liked it. I don't know. How do you feel about this match?
It should have been a collision match.
Really?
Hmm.
As far as they took it, you thought it'd be a collision match?
I mean, I'm glad if you're gonna
Not
destroy
even,
each
not
other
even a
out there
dynamite,
for the
not even
sake
a
of
dynamite
wrestling.
match.
Okay, yeah, sure, dynamite too. But even then, it's like it's something I'm gonna fall asleep to because I mean, I like the bases. I don't care for the heels. You know, just the way those guys. I don't know. I'm not bought on them yet.
They're
I'm not bought on them yet.
they are as and hear me out on this. They
Rejects.
no, they are DX ish. That's a shtick, right? You got David Finlay who's like the Shawn Michaels. You have Gabe Kidd who is technically fucking Robert Roode or fucking not Robert Roode, fucking Rick Rude, and then you have fucking Clark Connors or fucking Gabe Kidd as Triple H. Dude, as crazy as it sounds, like that really is their role, and you can see like I get why you say you're not bought on them because you don't like Gabe Kidd for whatever reason. I don't care for him either, but David Finlay, he has a certain swagger to him, but Clark Connors I've never seen him, and he had a very technical prowess to him, I guess you should say. And I was interested in this match, and it built up for a story. That's all. That's what it is, right? It's a story builder.
And what story is that?
Well, you need fucking Orange, Darby, and fucking Roddick to do something for the rest of the year. Now you got your fucking story. That's what it is. They're not gonna go for belts. They're not in line for any major titles. So you need to fucking give your new guys something to do, and you need to give your fucking vets of the company,
Vets.
your vets to do something perfect enough to fucking mash them together. Because guess what? I can see the dogs fight for a trios championship. I can also see Darby, Orange, and Rowdy continue this relationship to fight for something. So
So the dogs versus Don Callis family.
maybe, maybe to be honest with you, but Don Callis don't have the belt anymore. The Jet Speed, the
Oh,
new
that's
the new
right.
faces have the belt, so it makes sense.
That's
It
right.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
I think
Well,
this.
I don't care for the trios champions either. So let them have it.
There you
Fuck
go.
it.
But I think they're saving this, and this is just a theory. When fucking Switchblade comes back, and you have Switchblade in the Bang Bang gang, right, with
Hmm.
Austin, Juice, and Colt, I think that they're gonna fight each other. I think it's gonna be like because it's just smart, right? You already fucking have the names. You're gonna have the Bullet Club War Dogs. You can call them dogs now. Versus the Bang Bang Gang. That's almost like destined to happen. So that's a sub story. It's just bound to happen. So I think that is leading to that. It's just something to fucking fill time and move on to the next segment. That's all it is. Just like you said, like if you feel like it's a dynamite match, I feel like that will be a dynamite match coming up soon. So we'll find out. Next
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Next match.
Next match, the last match.
Oh,
It's the AEW World Championship Last Chance Texas Death Match. Hangman Adam Page chasing MJF the champ.
my favorite part of this. One of my favorite parts. MJF coming out in Terry Funk gear.
Yep.
Not only did he have the fucking red, black, and white tights, long tights, but he had the
Oh.
fucking poncho. He had the
Yep.
fucking Texas poncho. One of my favorite. That's one. Number two, MJF, not from this fucking shitty town you call LA, from a real town called Long Island, New York. Talk about a fucking heel. Specifically stopping Justin Roberts, the Yapper Dapper, and telling him, no, 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 no. I'm not just from Long Island. I'm from not this shitty town.
Yep.
I don't need to see anymore. I know this is a spoiler show, but holy fuck. 45 minutes of fucking chaos.
Yes.
45 minutes of why, how, what the fuck.
Thank you. I was about to say what the fuck.
Why, how,
Especially
what
how
the fuck, dude? Why, how, what the fuck? Why would they do that? How the fuck did they get away with it? And what the fuck are they doing? I thought at many instances, someone is gonna need some tetanus shots. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna need to take a couple of weeks off, or both, and you got a definitive winner. No NFs or buts. No NFs or buts. There was no shenanigans because this is a Texas death match. Fitting that this is a Texas death match in California because fuck California, right? And no shade to our fans in California, but fuck California because you know you live there. Um, but what the fuck? What the fuck? Give me your take.
the did you notice that AEW stepped up their production game for this pay-per-view? Not just with the fireworks, not just with the multiple Tron screens, but they took a page out of WWE's book with the 8K camera.
Not only that, specifically multiple cameras. That's the biggest. I think that's the
Well,
biggest turn. Biggest turn because there was
my my
you got
my
multiple
reasoning for
angles.
this is because my reasoning for bringing up the 8K camera is they really did know that they were going to have all these oh my god moments, all these what the fuck moments, that they were getting really good crowd reactions like WWE does from time to time, which creates gold when you have the right camera on the right person at the right moment, that gives you those faces of pure utter shock, disgust, and any other vocabulary word you want to attach to those emotions and feelings that create what people turn into memes and gifs. And it was awesome to see some of those reactions because it was pure. Especially, I'm mentioning the Joker barbed wire face part where
Ooh.
MJF was eating the barbed wire and Hangman was pulling him on his face while it was in his mouth. The syringe that MJF brought out and took it a
Oof.
step further from what happened with Swerve. And instead of injecting him, he put it through the cheek and was spitting out the saline or whatever fluid that was going out the fucking cheek. Fuck. Uh, People were clamoring for fire when Hangman brought out tables, and Hangman kept saying, "Somebody throw me a lighter, and I will," because he didn't bring one. Obviously, you can't bring a lighter into a match or into the arena. My bad. But if you're smart enough, you will hide one in your pocket somehow. I would have thrown it out there. I mean, you're clamoring for fire. Let's light up a table. I'm pretty sure he could have got some lighter fluid from under the ring if they probably had it there. But just the light tubes when they beat the shit out of each other with the light tubes on the top of the ring. Uh, they went through multiple tables. The barbed wire chairs. Let's go. The barbed wire chairs. Of course, Hangman came out with barbed wire wrapped around his arm. He did use that as well. Not only just to grimace his face, but bloody him up with it too. They really did. And I mean, they also had the straps, the collar. They pulled the
Dog
collar
collar,
match, and
yeah.
there was MJF screaming, "No, not again, not again!" because he had his ass beat and handed to him by CM Punk when he was there. And of course, that gave him PTSD when he saw the collar and the damn chain. He's like, "Not again, not again!" And he ran from it. No, 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 not again. So yeah, you had a lot of piece components in the match that really gave you shock and awe moments. And then the final straw where MJF finally at his last wit had Hangman over the ropes and he just choked the life out of him, knowing that he put that collar on him too, that collar was on Hangman. He choked Hangman with the own collar to where Hangman was fighting and he went limp. And when MJF finally let it go, Hangman head hit the camera and the blood that was on his head was on the camera itself. They do the count to 10, and even I think Shivani said, "Hey boys, he ain't getting up." And count of 10, boom, there it was. MJF retained the belt. Blood on the camera, everything. He hit that camera pretty hard. Fucking boot. There's blood all over that camera, and they kept that. See, they kept showing that after he won, and it went MJF. When MJF went to pose, he got on top of Hangman and was on top of Hangman with the belt and the blood on the camera.
I think, as crazy as it sounds, and this might sound crazy, but if you're a real wrestling fan, throughout all the chaos and all the what the fuck moments, and there's a lot of them, there was a story being told. A lot of references to past matches, right? Between the dog collar with CM Punk and MJF, the fucking death match between Mox and fucking Hangman, the death match between Mox and fucking Swerve. They did a lot of
Hmm.
like tip of the hat
Hangman.
situations. They did a lot of tip of the hat situations to all those things. But there, even though there's a lot of gore and a lot of like, I know people don't a lot of people who don't understand wrestling just think that AEW is just all violence. But and it is sometimes. But you got real story. You got real story, and this progressed the whole storyline. And now that MJF is your definitive winner. Hangman can no longer ever, not as MJF is a champion, ever compete for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ever. Which is interesting because I'm sure there's a workaround at some point if they absolutely need to, if Hangman needs to be called up for whatever reason, whatever. It it establishes MJF as your definitive champion, the definitive fucking money maker, the definitive draw of AEW. He is AEW, right? When you think of fucking wrestling fucking anagrams, you say WWE or WWF, you think Stone Cold, Undertaker. When you say ECW, you think
Hulk Hogan,
fucking Hulk Hogan, right? You say ECW, you think Tommy Dreamer, RVD, Sabu, the Dudley Boys. You see
Taz,
Taz. You see TNA, you see AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels,
Sting.
Sting. We'll say we'll throw them in there. That's WCW. WCW, Sting,
No,
fucking
Sting was in
NWO.
TNA. He was made him in Mafia.
I know he wasn't I know he's in TNA, but he wasn't the main focal point. But there's a
Uh,
lot of names.
Frankie
There,
Kazarian,
yeah, Frankenstein. There's a lot.
Christopher Daniels,
I already said that.
Shark Boy,
Shut the fuck up. There's a lot of fucking people, but when you say
Curry Man.
AEW, you're gonna think MJF. That's one of the top guys. One of the top guys you're gonna say. You can say a lot of other guys because there's a lot of awesome, oh my
Kenny
god,
Omega,
moments. Doesn't matter,
Hangman.
right? There's gonna be a lot of those moments, but you're gonna definitively MJF is gonna be one of the top of those lists. Any list, he's gonna be the top of AEW list, and that's pretty awesome because he's done the Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson. He's done the death match with Hangman. He's done Dog Collar with CM Punk. He's done a lot of things with a lot of people.
He was one of the four original pillars of youth in the company that they really did uh push to grow and give opportunity, and he earned and took opportunity to not only just win but put the company on his back.
And he's continuing to do that because he is your definitive world, well, I should say AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm looking forward to how and what happens next because it was never said anywhere. The number one contender match is for this so and so versus so and so. It wasn't. So it could it be Andrade? Absolutely. Could it be fucking Swerve Strickland? Absolutely. Could it be a number of fucking people? Absolutely. We're gonna have to
Hmm.
wait and find out because we've been saying it ever since MJF won the championship. He is a fucking draw. And if this match didn't fucking solidify that, then you're not a fucking wrestling fan. You're a fucking there's tribalism or you're a fucking idiot when you don't see what's really happening in front of you.
Or
So
you're a mark for another company.
you're a mark for another company, and I am pumped. Like I said earlier in this fucking pod, this fucking this one night of pay-per-view Revolution AEW gave you so many fucking stories. So many that, and not only stories, but sub stories within the main story. There's a lot. There's so many things that you can, any route you can
I
go.
think it gave you more angles of where to lead the next story.
That's the best part.
This pay-per-view had X amount of stories because of the matches that were placed in front of us. But now that those stories have either resolved or concluded, now you've really opened the door to see where do we project next, because you've opened more possibilities based on the outcome of every match that happened for this pay-per-view.
I'm
So
gonna,
it is going to be a wonderful ride to get on to see which way we're going now.
I'm gonna ask you one question, and I'll answer it following you. One question. What are you looking forward to? One thing. Just one thing. Are you looking forward to towards a championship, a feud? What are you specifically after this 6 hour pay per view, 13 matches, 10 pay per view matches, three fucking 0 hour matches?
I mean, if you're making me limited to just one answer right now, is we everyone always follows the champion. So Who's MJF's next opponent? Where is this going?
Okay, cool. I am
If I
gonna.
had a chance to answer more than one, I probably could give you three or four others because of the stories that we saw conclude and newly develop. But one of the ones I want to know is who's the next opponent.
I will parlay that. I would have said the same thing. I'll parlay it to where is Osprey going? There's a lot of things, and that's just two of many. That's two of
Well, we
many
do know
possible options.
already they've already put out some matches for Dynamite, and Will Osprey is fighting Blake Christian on Dynamite tomorrow.
Oh,
So
vanilla,
it's basically a
vanilla,
tune-up match.
yeah, vanilla something. His name
Yeah,
is
from the
vanilla something.
Vanilla Swirl.
Yeah,
I think it's the Vanilla Swirls, the tag team from Ring of Honor. He's fighting Blake Christian tomorrow on Dynamite. So I believe that's a tune-up match that they're gonna have for him. A welcome back match. Nothing
yeah.
too heavy. No one too very nameful that he can't fight, but it also gives a good opportunity for Blake Christian to show out as well, or hopefully show out.
And
Hopefully it's not a squash.
yeah,
But,
I'll parlay it by saying because this isn't ballet, you never know, right? And
you know.
I think they if AEW has given the trust to Blake Christensen to fucking take this match and give Osprey his first official match back, kudos to him because that gives him a big push. And it's a good,
Hmm.
like you said, good tuner up match because they must trust him enough. Blake trust him enough to give him a safe, awesome match. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward
Hmm.
to tomorrow night when we get one hell of a fucking rebuttal from everyone who won and lost, and see where
Hmm.
these stories or angles go because there was a lot. There was a lot for the women's division. There's a lot for the fucking men's division, the tag team division, the trios division. There is just a lot, and I'm here for
Yep.
it. And we appreciate you staying locked in with us for this long-winded session about AEW Revolution pay-per-view because god damn it, there was so many things to talk about and there's so much more to bleed into. We haven't got into it. We haven't barely scratched the surface because we're on the road. Yes, we are on the road to I'm gonna call it WrestleMania, but we know that AEW has their next pay-per-view in Dynasty 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before, right on Easter Sunday.
Mhm.
So we're gearing up towards another banger of a pay-per-view in Toronto. So or Toronto? No, not Toronto. My bad.
Vancouver, British
Vancouver,
Columbia.
Vancouver. So we're gearing up towards that, and then we're gonna full steam ahead to fucking Dynasty in March. So or April, later April. No, March. Right. So stay tuned. I mean,
Hmm.
there's so much. There's so much. I'm fucking fumbling my words because there's so much to fucking go over. But all you can do
Well,
is
let me jump in and tell you real quick is that you have the New Japan Cup finals that are happening on the 21st of March. You've got Ring of Honor X MLP Global Wars that are happening in Canada. So they're Ring of Honor is fighting a bunch of people over from that promotion in Canada, March 27th. You have TNA Sacrifice coming up in New Orleans, Friday, March 27th. NXT Roadblock, New York City, New York, March 31st. New Japan Sakura Genesis 2026, April 4th, 2026. NXT Stand and Deliver, St. Louis, Saturday, April 4th. NWA Crockett Cup 2026, Forney, Texas, April 4th. Dynasty, April 5th, Vancouver. TNA Rebellion 2026, April 11th, Cleveland, Ohio. And then all culminating to the big old WrestleMania, brother, 42.
and you know what? It's crazy, and I know you got that list. There's also this coming Friday a CMLL pay-per-view where Claudio fights against fucking Echiceto, and there's a lot of AEW star crossover in the CMLL pay-per-view this Friday. So there's a lot of fucking wrestling, man. And AEW,
Hmm.
you know you're gonna get the action. You know you're gonna get hard-hitting, fucking holy shit moments, and I'm here for it. But all you can do is continue to watch Beyond the Ropes, catches on all the socials and all your podcast platforms. So watch and listen as we discuss and continue to watch wrestling and give you the hot takes, our fucking opinions on what's going on. But all you can do is stay tuned for more stories, more violence.
And don't forget, we are the podcast that hits back, brother.
Woo!